Now, let's start now with lesson 4, which talking about greatest common factor. Least common multiple is written as LCM. Greatest common factor is written as GCF. GCF. So at the end of this, now all of you please first open your book, page 23, in order to start our lesson, because inshallah at the end of the lesson you will be able to find the greatest common factor of two whole numbers. As we did in lesson 3, I give you two numbers. You will find you found the least common multiple for them. In this lesson, I will give you now two numbers, but you will find the greatest common factor of them. Now, let's first, before we start our lesson, let's now explain the title. Greatest common factor. So that means if you have now like two numbers, like we can say number, let's take now number 33 and 66. Greatest common factor means, from its name, factor. Here now I need to write the factor that when you multiply them, you get 33. What are the factors? All the factors that you multiply them, you get 33. What are they? Let's take now another example. Let's take 30 and 60. Yeah, what are the factors that when you multiply them, you get 30? 5 and 6. 3 and 10. 30 and 1. Who also? Who can give me? Bravo. 2 and 15. These are now the factors of 30. Now, who can give me now the factors of 60? 5 and 12. Bravo. 3. Bravo. 1 and 60. 3 and 20. What also? Bravo. 6 and 10. 15 and 4. 15 and 4. Now, what do you find now? We found the factors of each number. Now then, we need to find now the common factors. What are the common here? We have 5. We have 3. We have 10. We have what also? We have 30 and 2. I forget 2. 30 and 2. We have an 2, 15. Yes, a lot of numbers. Now, then here, what do we have to do now? We have to find the greatest factor. What is the greatest factor here? Now, did you see now the numbers that I circled them? Which is the greatest one? 30, bravo. So I will say now the GCF for 30 and 60 is 30. That's it. Did you understand now? This is the idea of our lesson. You have to find the factors, or to write the factors of each number. Then you have to find the common, then the greatest of the common. Yes, the greatest common will be the GCF. The least common multiple, you have to write. Miss Aya, I will give you more examples. The least common multiples, wait a minute. The least common multiples, you have to write the multiples of the number, then you will take the least one. Here, you have to write the factors of the number, of the two numbers, then you have to take the greatest one. Let's take now more examples. Factors mean that you have to multiply two numbers to get 30. Think about all the numbers. When you multiply them together, you get 30. Yes, so you have to think about all these two pair of numbers. Okay, now, so the greatest common factor, as you see here, we have 16 and 20. Common factor that you have to write the factors of 16 and the factors of 20. Then, what are the factors of 16? I means all the numbers that I multiply them together, I get 16. They are 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4, but I will not repeat it. So here you have to write the factors of 16. 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4, you write only 1 4. Then now you write them from least to greatest here. You will arrange them as 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Wait a minute, please. Now, after that, we have to write now the factors of 20. What are the two? Give me now a pair of numbers. When you multiply them, you get 20. 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 5 and 4. So now you write them now here from least to greatest as 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. Then after that, you will put or find the common. Where are the common? 1 is common, 2, 4, only. So what is the greatest one will be? The greatest common factor of these two numbers? Oh, no, number 4 only. Okay, say number 4. So the greatest common factor is 4. Yes, what do you want to ask me? Yes, but that's what I said. You have to write the factor, as we said before. Then after that, take the common of them, then take the greatest one, as we said before. Now, do you have any question? No. Okay. Now, here now, did you remember now when I told you about the pencils and the erasers or the ribbons and the karate, how that you have to buy more than one packet in order to make them equal? So then I ask you now, how many least number, or what is the least number of packets do you have to buy in order to make them equal? If you see these keywords, that means I'm talking about least common multiple. Now, what about the greatest common factor? Look at this question here. Jim is cutting 2 strips of wood to make picture frames. The wood strips measure 12 inches and 18 inches. We want to cut the strips into equal lengths that are as long as possible. Into how many lengths should he cut the wood? Now, look at this here. We have 2 strips of wood, and they want to cut them to make them equal in order to get, they want to use both of them in order to make frames, and the frames must have equal length. Then now here, what you have to do then next? Now you have them. This is the solution. But now here you have to know to which or how the length of each piece will be. And then the third one will be so long. No, now you need to cut them. Yes. So in this one here, if I told you now you have 2 different one, and you need to cut them into equal pieces, remember the greatest common factor. Okay? If you have 2 things and you need now to cut them, remember the greatest common factor. What do I mean? The length of the first one is 12. And the second one is 18. So you need to write the factors of 12 and the factors of 18. Factors of 12 is 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. These are the factors of 12. You multiply them, you get 12. Now 18, 1 and 9. 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. So now here, after you wrote the factors of each two whole numbers, you need now to find the common one. Where is the common? We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and we have 6. So what is the greatest common factor here? 6. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 6. So what is the greatest? 6. So that's mean here, that's mean when he cut this, the 12 inches, he cut it by 2. And the second one here, he cut it by 3 in order to get each piece 6 inches. So now they can bring 5 pieces or 5 strips of wood that they are equal. This is by using the greatest common factor. Now, I know maybe some of you didn't understand clearly. Inshallah, tomorrow when we solve the more questions, you will understand what is the greatest common factor. Now, Miss, how much did you understand? Okay, alhamdulillah.